Welcome to my Idaho cabin, where the elk and deer run free. Welcome to my Idaho cabin, hope you spend a little time with me.
Hi everybody, this is Rick. Welcome to my Idaho cabin. Today it's kind of gorpy out, and so I decided that I was going to do some canning and pickling. A friend of mine has a garden, and he gave me some beautiful bell peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dehydrate the peppers and the tomatoes, and then I'm going to make some bread and butter pickles. So stick around, I'll show you how I do it. I cut up the bell peppers and cut out any bad spots and just basically cut them in half, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my chop wizard with the large grate to dice them up in about 1/4 inch dice, and then we'll put them on the Excalibur dehydrator and put them on the turn on the heat for about, I think, 4 to 6 hours, as I recall. I want to show you how easy this is with the chop wizard. You take the bell peppers and cut them up like this, and just break them in half so you have a small section. Put it on there. Crash. You imagine dicing this by hand? Okay. There's a whole bunch of perfectly diced green peppers, bell peppers. So get you one of these things. It's a real time saver. Well, there's the bell peppers all diced up, and that whole load of bell peppers took me about 5 minutes to dice. So we're going on to the dehydrator, and we'll get them going. This is my Excalibur 9-drawer dehydrator, and I have the, I think they're Mylar, whatever, plastic anyway, screens on there. So now all we have to do is just take and put a little batch of a couple of handfuls, 3, 4 handfuls, whatever it takes, on here. And if I can get all of these on just a few trays, then I'm going to take some jalapenos that I have, and I'll cut them in half, and we'll dehydrate those as well. So when I get to that stage, I'll bring you back. Okay, I got 5 trays of the bell peppers, and now I'm going to put the jalapenos on there. What I've done is cut the tops off and scrape them out with a teaspoon. That's the best way to do it. So anyway, we'll put those on there, and then we can dry the whole mess at one time. Remember, don't handle jalapenos with your bare hands. They are nasty, and if you've gotten bitten by the jalapenos one time, you'll never get bitten again. Believe me, it's not fun. But do as I say, not as I do. As after I'm through here, I'm going to go into the bathroom, and I'm going to wash my hands 3 or 4 times with hot soapy water and probably a disinfectant. But these can get pretty nasty if you make a mistake and rub your eyes and that sort of thing. So you don't want to do that. So wear gloves. It's a little harder and more cumbersome to do that, but you'll end up a lot happier than if you happen to rub your eyes after touching these things. I'll give you a couple other tips about jalapenos. When you are cleaning up the sink and everything like that, if you have like an incinerator, don't wash the seeds down into the incinerator with hot water. Use cold water, because the hot water will activate the capsaicin, and it will come up and get right in your face, and you will regret it. You'll be coughing for a half an hour. And when you wipe your hands or whatever you do, use paper towels. Don't use your dish towel or whatever it is you normally use. Use a paper towel so you can throw it away. This capsaicin is nasty stuff. So now I'm going to turn the dehydrator on at 125 degrees, and I'll dehydrate them for 4 to 8 hours, and they should be done. After that, I'll put them in mason jars and vacuum seal them in my VacMaster. I'll show you how to do that when the time comes. Here are the dehydrated bell peppers, and I still have some of the jalapenos. Needed some more time, so I'm going to continue to dry them, but these are ready to store. So I'm going to scoop them up and put them in a mason jar, and then we'll seal them in the VacMaster, and I'll show you how that works. Remember that sink full of bell peppers? They're now in less than a half of this quart mason jar. So there they are, and ready to go into the vacuum sealer. I put the information on the top, so now I'll vacuum seal these and put them on the shelf. There's my VacMaster vacuum sealer. So now I'm putting the top on this jar just finger tight, and I'll just lay it in here and close the lid. We'll let that count down a little bit. Get it down here where you can see what it's doing. There you are. Done. Now the top, all nicely sealed, no clicks. And so now I'll just put that on the shelf, and anytime I need bell peppers, I can just open it up and take what I need, and then reseal the jar, and those will last for years. As soon as the jalapenos finish drying, then I'll process them the same way, put them in another mason jar, and vacuum seal those, and we'll put them away. I'm going to do some tomatoes a little bit later, so I'll show you how I do those in a minute. As you can see, I'm using paste tomatoes. The Romas are by far the best tomato that you can use for dehydrating. They have the most flavor, and they're the best that you can use to make tomato sauce and that sort of stuff. So what I'm doing is cutting off the blossom end, or the stem end, of the tomatoes, and then I'm putting them on the dehydrator racks cut side up. That way, as they dehydrate, the flavors from the juices from the tomatoes will soak into the skin and will stay inside the tomato as they dehydrate. I was able to get 2 trays of sliced tomatoes cut in half, just like this. So now I'm going to put there's 1 tray in there, and I'll have to stagger. We have to leave a space in there because of the size of the tomatoes. So I've got 2 trays in there. Now I'll put the cover on the Excalibur, and we will turn it on and let it start to dehydrate. These should take 12 to 16, maybe 18 hours, because these are pretty big tomatoes at 125 degrees. And so we'll just put them on, and when they're ready, we'll check them after about 12 to 14 hours, and then we'll take them off when they're ready. Today's the last day of elk season for our controlled hunt, and didn't see anything this morning, but just got back in and found that the tomatoes that I've been drying are finished. So now I'm going to vacuum pack them and put them in the a mason jar. A little bit later, maybe next week, I'll when I get to Costco or wherever, I'm going to get some olive oil, and I'll pack them in oil, and so I can have some oil-infused sun-dried tomatoes. So I'll show you how I put them in the jars and vacuum seal them, and then we'll close this out. Here are all those tomatoes. They were I could dry them on 2 screens, and now they don't even fit on a single screen. So they're nice and they're dry, and they kind of feel leathery a little bit. So anyway, that's where you want them. So we'll put them in here. We'll put them in the jar. And then I'll vacuum seal them and put them in oil next week. So, put the lid on, screw it down finger tight, and we'll process them in the VacMaster. See if you can see that. Not really. Take these plates out because we don't need them. Okay, we'll put that in there. Turn it on. And it's drawing a vacuum right now. Now it's going through the sealing stages, and the pressure release. We're all done. Nicely sealed jar. And that's all there is to it. Well, there you have it. Basic primer on how to dehydrate food and how to store them. So if there's any recipes, I'm not sure whether I need to put any recipes, but if so, they'll be over here on this side, and the like and dislike and comment button is over here. As usual, I always like to get your comments. I'll also include a list of some of the equipment that I use for dehydrating. It's down below. You can purchase it through my store, and I'd appreciate that, because I need to have some sales in order to keep the store available to you guys, but it's a quick link and it's really handy. I especially like that little chopper. So if you ever do a lot of dicing or anything like that, you'll find that little piece of equipment invaluable. So anyway, thanks again for watching this episode of My Idaho Cabin, and I'll see you next time. This is Rick at My Idaho Cabin.
Welcome to my Idaho cabin, where the elk and deer run free. Welcome to my Idaho cabin. Thanks for spending time with